Hi guys, Tiffany Fontenot, your friendly reverse speech analyst here. I just want to document something real quick. The Fort Worth Weekly, which, I really have liked this outlet in the past, but they did, Fort Worth has a lot of defense contractors up in here. We've got General Dynamics, Bell Helicopter. I mean, just to name a couple. It's thick over here with defense contractors. Greedy defense contractors. Now, I'm sure it's not as bad as other places in the country where they're more entrenched, but we are looking at depopulation here. And this is one of the strategies they are using, is they will pay or influence in some way a journalist to write a hit piece about targeted individuals who are being tortured literally to death in order to be exploited in a network that is global. So what they do is they start out and pretend like you're a terrorist, and they put you on the terrorist watch list, and that is connected to FISA. And so when that happens, and the Patriot Act is used to strip away your rights, and they have this same thing that they're doing in the United States, they have an equivalent function. They have an equivalent arm that does that in other countries globally. So the other countries have targeted individuals, and they almost have been using us like hostages to the people who are against this depopulation. So this, again, is another form of trafficking coming to you from the same people who bring you perpetual wars. I mean, and if you have seen what's been going on with the Robinhood app, you understand we are in all-out class warfare now. And the little guy is tired of being stepped on. Okay? So I suggest that everybody, it's coming through loud and clear in our reverse speech, which is what I report on. I'm reporting directly from our consciousness, and it's telling us what is true about this situation, and we are getting advice. So even from people like Michael Aquino, his reverse speech, when he speaks positively about Satanism, comes through and said it is the opposite of that. It is the mired opposite of that. So he's saying that the damage that does cannot be overstated. So what I am asking for all of these people to do is understand that your being is mind, body, and spirit. Okay, and those are being commented upon in our involuntary system of reverse speech. And what is coming through, so in other words, you really are the only one, if you are messed up in all of that stuff, in that scamming pyramid cult, trafficking pyramid cult, where they're working together in a group, and subscribing to these dark, ridiculous, crime syndicates, various, whether it's atheist or Satanism or Luciferianism or Baal worship, or, name the Satanism, all the rest of them. Okay, non-benevolent. You think that you can win if you're on top of the pyramid and can step on everybody else, and you've been indoctrinated somehow to believe that that's true. It is not coming through your own reverse speech that way. Okay, so I'm just telling you what I'm finding here. There are people that believe that stuff is valid, and you don't believe you. You are telling you that that's not true in our collective consciousness here. Okay, so it is describing something different than you believe, and it's trying to direct you back to the proper balance here. is all I can tell you about that. Okay, so this is an article by Terry Webster, and she did a hit piece on it. So now, who knows if she actually got paid by somebody in the defense industry to do this hit piece, or if she's just mimicking other writers who have done hit pieces in the past in order to, there are some people that like to shoot others down in order to bring themselves up, or to make sure that others in their group and here down here, I've been trying to get my comment on here for like days. I've made several phone calls and written an email, and it is not listed here. So you have a couple from Richard Lighthouse too, and some other TIs, but mine is not on here. Okay, so that's that. And so then but now on their Facebook site, before I got dinged by Facebook again, they don't want me insulting their VP. I posted a meme about her character flaws that to me seem to indicate that she doesn't need to be vice president or in leadership for anybody. And so I got banned off of Facebook for 7 days. And of course, when I went to tell Facebook about that, they said, you can appeal this. So I did. And then it said, oh, this is not working right now. It's not working. You can't submit your appeal. So, there you have it. All right. So I was able to comment on Fort Worth Weekly's Facebook page. And so, so here the question is stated, and she's assuming a great deal here that all TIs feel this way. And I'm sure some of them do. I don't. So she says, some Fort Worthians believe they're under secret attack by the government, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. So she's, it's clear the picture that she's trying to paint. She's not trying to get to the bottom of it. She's not trying to, in fact, the guy that they use in here, I think he was the creator of a Facebook group where he was attacking Midge Mathis and just saying ridiculous stuff. It's clear that he's a shill that she interviewed. I'm like, where did she get a hold of that guy? Really, I have some questions for this quote-unquote journalist about how this article exactly unfolded from her little noggin. So, anyway, so I went ahead and commented. I was able to comment here. So I said, of course, something can be done about it, but a step in the right direction would be journalists actually investigating it rather than doing hit pieces for kickbacks on behalf of the defense industry that is in reality depopulating citizens for money at its core. And then I put the Building Back Better as another symbol for that, and disaster capitalism. So then I put part 1 and part 2 of my comments because they're lengthy, because I put tons of links in. It's an annotated, sorry. It's a little letter to Terry Webster, and then the rest of it is an annotated list of URLs for research, which she should have done before she did the article in the first place. So, and then I pulled one of them out in particular, and that is the February 2020 Georgia Tech paper entitled "The Largest Unethical Medical Experiment in Human History," and that includes a 1,086-page PDF with an abstract, and then I put the abstract here, part of the abstract here below. So, which says, and this is again from Georgia Tech, Even though many of the reported adverse effects are extremely severe, the true extent of their severity has been grossly underestimated. Most of the reported laboratory experiments that produced these effects are not reflective of the real-life environment in which wireless radiation operates. So Americans are being tortured with wireless radiation in non-consensual studies. The one that I have been in looks to be birth to death, and that, what's his name, Dr. James Giordano, a DARPA advisor, satanic DARPA, has tons of information on all this, and he confirms the birth to death studies. Okay, so you can go and look at his information, and I did his reverse speech also, where he indicates he is assisting the eye of evil. He's aiding the eye of evil, and he asks, okay, who's next in our force ill? Who are we going to make ill next? Okay, so it's a big, ridiculous thing going on in our behavior and consciousness from very misguided humans, and it needs back on the right road. And to the point, it's so out of balance that, I mean, those people are literally dangerous to humanity, and because this whole system works on a basis of projection, then of course they are hunting good people in order to hold them up, to get rid of them before we address these psychopaths working together in a system, in their disaster capitalism system and the other systems around the planet. They've gamed all of them, and they think it's a big funny game, you know. Who gets to sit on the top, be king of the hill of the giant shit heap that they have created, is what's going on. So then many experiments do not include pulsing and modulation of the carrier signal, and most do not account for synergistic effects of other toxic stimuli acting in concert with the wireless radiation. These two additions greatly exacerbate the severity of the adverse effects from wireless radiation, and their neglect in current and past experimentation results in a substantial underestimation of the breadth and severity of adverse effects to be expected in a real life situation. Then the lack of credible safety testing, combined with depriving the public of the opportunity to provide informed consent, contextualizes the wireless radiation infrastructure operation as an unethical medical experiment. Okay, and they are running scared across the planet because they want to continue to dominate everyone else while they make money off of all of us like cash cows. You know, and people are getting sick of it. And now that includes me. All right, so, and we're not going to play the game where they're going to point their finger at people for getting mad at them for doing that. Because the game they're playing now is they're like, you stepped on my foot. Like a provocation. They do a provocation to try to get you to react violently so then they can put you away so that you're not a problem for them to continue, you know, making money off of everyone in this way. Now that's just what's going on, regardless of what you're hearing on the media, because those people own the media. You know, do your research and you'll find that's true. Same people. All right, so part one. I'm going to just go ahead and read the letter part and let you, I'll scroll through the annotated URL list of research links, of which that Georgia Tech paper is one. So here's part one. Dear Terry Webster, who is the one who wrote the article. Such travesty, what has happened to journalism, isn't it? Here are some links you should probably have researched before doing a hit piece on people literally being tortured to death. Do you understand that children and elderly are also being hit, as well as mentally handicapped in homes? How brave and courageous you must feel to have assisted in that process, eh? Bravo! How much money did you make for assisting in a global genocide? We will get this information to the public with or without you folks, but history will reflect what you people did and did not do. I would prefer you get busy researching and help get this stopped instead, but up to you. Hope you don't end up on the global kill list before it's all over, but if you do, then maybe you'll take it a bit more seriously Our military and others of our institutions have had a long, sordid history of experimenting on their own citizens. After former President Bill Clinton apologized, I've linked it below for you since you seem very inept in finding this information to prep properly for an interview, which only defense industry shill journalists normally do. For the radiation experiments done on unsuspecting civilians, the program appears to never have stopped and instead to have exploded in human slaughter worldwide with help from Obama and his administration. The criminal trafficking network spans the globe in an arms race to weaponize the brain through neuroscience in the direction of transhumanism and installing a global technocracy, which we are all seeing take shape. I don't think that's a mystery at all for anyone who's paying attention, even just a little bit. So, you may not contact me for comment. You have plenty of info here, and frankly, you've shown yourself in this hit piece to be untrustworthy. Cheers, Tiffany Fontenot. Okay, and then here is the first article there. U.S. military plans cyborg soldiers with new DARPA project. Yeah, because we need cyborg soldiers, right? What we need our military to do is to properly round this group up worldwide and safeguard humanity from them, and then maintain a proper balance. You know, the defense that this pyramid scamming group is trying to deploy is full spectrum domination. That's what they want. They're a trafficking group. They want worldwide enslavement and trafficking. You know, and transhumanism. Now, what will happen if that system is allowed to roll out is you'll just have a bunch of self-replicating robots all over the planet. That's not what we're meant to do down here. You know, man was not a mistake. We are a threefold being, body, mind, and spirit. And when those three things are working together, we can all flow and balance properly, and I'll have a good time down here. Okay? But we've got a group that is literally threatening that for everyone. So it's time for journalists and everybody else to drop that crap and start getting on the right path here. Unbelievable. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through this very quickly, and I'll leave links down below. I'll probably just put all this like in a Google document and stick that link underneath. Okay. Oh, here's the part 2. I have a couple of typos in here too that I don't think I fixed yet, so y'all bear with me on that. Okay, now that's that. Now I called again this morning just a little bit ago. Now these people at Fort Worth Weekly have been very nice, although they, you know, I keep getting the runaround on people are not properly addressing the issue here. But I just called them and I went ahead and recorded this one. This is after several phone calls, several days, after an email, a couple of emails, and still, it's other people's comments on this version of the article here at fortworthweekly.com, not the Facebook version. Other comments are being posted, but mine is not still. It's saying that it's in moderation. So I found that the person responsible for that, his name, and he's out of the office again today, and was not able to be gotten hold of yesterday. So, one begins to wonder. So anyway, I wanted to document just the phone call because I want those comments on that page. So, So there's a very nice lady there named Julie. She answered the phone, and I said, "Oh, okay, is this Julie in the phone call?" And I'm doing the reverse speech here of our phone call. So I said, she said, you were trying to basically get your, comments on one of the articles online. And then both of our reversals there. She says, now muzzled your other wall. They mock menagerie. They mock menagerie. Menagerie lie. And then I say to her, he loosed his egg war. Okay, now we're going to listen to that reversal. I think I'm going to play it for you here. All right, here we go. Okay, is this Julie?
You were trying to comment on one of the articles online.
Okay.
Now, no girl, other law,
Yeah, let's just say what?
Now, no girl, other law,
Yeah, let's just say what? Okay. Now, what does that mean? So, I've told y'all before what's coming across in my reverse speech is that I'm being muzzled. Okay, so that's where I need y'all's help. Okay, I'm working on getting those, tons of TIs are muzzled. That's part of the program. So we're working on ripping that off, but you can help to do that. Get our reverse speech and our still small voice heard worldwide, because it is literally a check against the group that's doing this. It's a check. They have to have secrecy and they have to have deception. And reverse speech is a check against both of those. Please share our information, guys. It's important. In the therapeutic side of it, addresses unhealthy metaphors literally in our consciousness to make it, heal it and make it congruent. And then so we're dealing with a third of who we are, and then our spirit and our higher aspects come in and comment in our reverse speech too for guidance for us. It's bidirectional. Consciousness is bidirectional. God made consciousness bidirectional. It's free will in the forward direction where you can lie if you choose to. And then in reverse, that's an involuntary system where your dreams come from, your body language, all of that kind of stuff. Your reverse speech, you can't lie in that direction. And it will show faulty programming coming up. And then we can work with that consciousness and make it congruent again. But this attack is literally, and they've got AI in on it too. That's why a whole lot of these people are just nuttier than fruitcake. They've taken that stuff on board and they're trying to force it into everyone else. Now it's just getting ridiculous. Okay, so this muzzle can be helped if the more you guys support reverse speech, the more that muzzle gets stripped away. Okay, now we're fixing to have our business online, and it's going to be a Groove Cart business, our store. The more our store is, I'm just showing you how you can support us. You can you can share, you can talk about our work to your friends who you feel comfortable doing that with. You can promote our videos and our information. You can buy from our online store as soon as we get it up. We'll try to have good stuff in there, but that helps us create a revenue stream so that we can expand and get our stuff out there. But can you guys imagine if reverse speech, if everybody either knew how to do it themselves or knew how to get a hold of somebody who did, and everybody studied that part of who we are? How different would this planet be? It just boggles the mind. So when you are getting our stuff out there, you're doing something good for our, who we are, where we come from. Anyway, I just cannot stress that enough, because these people are just, I just sit there and shake my head. They are so misguided, and they're trying to lead everybody off a cliff. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. They are literally enslaving their own children themselves. I'm like, okay, just forget about me for a minute. What about you? I know you guys don't care about anybody else but yourselves and your silly syndicate. But you are falling in this too. Your children, your grandchildren, you're running it all off a cliff. What for? Why do that? Okay, so everybody, it's all hands on deck. Look at the truth map that's unfolding. Where can you best help in your gifts, in your spirit, in your passions, in your heart, in your knowledge, in your connections to each other? Where can you help? There are billions of us, guys. Now, what's happening with that Robinhood app situation is very interesting, too. So I'm just encouraging everybody all over the planet. Reverse speech helps you to see the map, the truth map of what's actually going on. Because people talk a good game all the time, but they're not necessarily congruent even when they believe they are, When people ask me stuff, I have to say, well, this is what I believe is true, but I have to check with my better half and make sure. Won't it be great when we're all congruent, consciously congruent? This is a bit like a new operating system or a new app that you get a hold of. And once you start getting the logic of it, you start flowing much better. You get it, and everything kind of lines up. And it's just, a nice little reverse speech talks about flowing and surfing and balance, But this group, this nasty evilness that has kind of captured all of our institutions right now, it can get you on either side. So if you want to, those people who pretend to be very pious and religious and all of that stuff, they can get you on that side. That means you're out of balance when you're doing all that, because you're, force you have to really look at the art of war and how force is used properly. So in other words, if there is a person and you see a train speeding to hurt that person and they don't see it, do you want to stop and take time to would you like me to get you off the tracks, or are you going to tackle them and move them out of the way on their own behalf? You know what I mean? These are kind of the questions that we're dealing with here. And that humanity is the person on the track with the train coming at it. Okay, so people need to act. They need to act in a balanced fashion, and they need to act appropriately to get this stuff stopped and shut down worldwide. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it's been going on a long time. Look at this. Look at these guys. Hey, throwing it up. It is ridiculous. Okay, so what the reversal means. Now another obstacle has been placed to keep me from expressing my opinion freely, and they're trying to do this to everybody. But TIs are the first wave they're literally trying to depopulate, and we are in the first wave. There will be others if we fall. Okay, they're trying to depopulate down to their magic number, whatever that is. I mean, the Georgia Guidestones says that their nutball number is 500 million worldwide. But, so we're dealing with a class war with the elite here, stomping on the little guy. And they just have gotten ridiculously out of balance. And I mean, it's a giant hijacking cult is what it is at its core. And it's run with tech. These people are transhuman. Anyway, so let me go ahead and let's see. Oh, and my friend Connie, I got permission to play her. She read this, and then she went, "Oh my God," with the emoticon, and here's what she said. Okay, is this Julie?
You're trying to.
Oh, sorry, I just played that for y'all. Here's Connie's comment.
Wow, that was clear as hell. Unbelievable.
Okay, and reverse speech is unbelievable. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. You can get to the bottom of what you need to. So anyway, guys, that's really all I have, and I'm not going to keep you any longer. Please share reverse speech. It's so important. I mean, I know, you guys hear that from tons of different people with their hand out worldwide, but this is not a handout, it's a hand up, and you are helping yourself when you help us. Okay? Because our shared consciousness is our shared consciousness, and it needs healing. You got a lot of misguided people, you know? And so a lot of things, I don't have the answer to everything, but I sure can roll up my sleeves and start pulling stuff out of our shared consciousness to see what it's telling us so that we can make proper decisions in the face of all this craziness. Okay? So, all right, guys. I love y'all, and I'll let you go. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, and then I said all that, and then I forgot to go over the rest of the interpretation. Sorry. So, now another obstacle has been placed to keep me from expressing my opinion freely in order to pretend that these people have animals held captive. That looks to be a repetitive strategy that is actually a lie. And then I tell Julie, that these people have created a new war to suck or drain energy. That they're, it's just another it's a trafficking cult. It's a transhuman trafficking cult who practices pederasty, and they are literally attacking humanity in an undeclared war. But I'm telling you, they have declared it in their reverse speech. It's declared. I have a very, like through their celebrities, NWO celebrities. This war has been declared in their reverse speech. So I'm just letting you know. So everybody roll up sleeves and let's get this train back on the track. Please. Okay? I love y'all. Keep your chins up. Keep your sense of humor. Keep your balance. Keep your cup full. Okay? And we'll see you soon. Bye. Oh my gosh, guys. Third ending. Third time's a charm. I'm so sorry. And I was going to play one more thing for you that I told Connie in this conversation that has to do with the tech that they're using. So they don't necessarily, these things can happen consciously or they can happen unconsciously because of the tools that they're using. They are hitting your body with technology from the weaponized grid that they built up around us. Now that includes satellites and drones and all of the stuff that they're using. And they are literally using your harvested DNA to magnetically tag you to a wireless internet that they are trying to make quantum in nature. And reverse speech is screaming about, our consciousness is screaming about all of this stuff. I have not found any reverse speech that is positive on quantum. In fact, it looks to be burning spiritual energy. So it's not a positive thing, in my opinion. All of this technology is going to have to be dealt with. So here's the comment that I sent. And they're doing this, guys, reflexology. Are you familiar with reflexology? Like when you go to the doctor's office and he hits your knee with that little hammer and your knee kicks out. It's based on that kind of stuff. Or if you rub your feet in a particular place, then you're actually helping a corresponding organ that corresponds to that location, that kind of reflexology. They are doing this to bodies with EMF weapons and to your brain in attempts to influence and program you to their liking. Okay, now that's how ridiculous it's gotten. Okay, so that's what I'm commenting on here. And I don't know that those people at the Fort Worth Weekly have anything to do with that because of the way that this technology works. You don't really have to interact with those people. I know that they do that. But they can just influence using the HiveNet and these tools, and they are trying to work out how much they can influence people and how much they can, without interacting with them physically, because they don't want to get caught. So the interaction and the influence, I don't know about. I'd have to ask more direct questions in reverse speech to find all that out. Okay. And then once again, I'm going to just very quickly show you what BrainNet is. When I refer to the HiveNet, I'm talking about BrainNet. Okay. Also, a reference to my previous video, we're being threatened with a dark winter, and that came through this one right here. You might want to go check that out. It is a threat. What came through the HiveNet about that, though, is contingency. So, like, the militaries on this planet, at least at a certain level, do appear to be aware of this conflict, and they're choosing up sides on this. So what I took from that, from the HiveNet, that I'm hooked to because I'm a TI, I appear to be tested for, definitely I'm being tested for AI, there's just no question about that. I appear to be tested also for the quantum internet, which the Department of Energy is trying to install as fast as it can, because there is a time limit on all this. You know, it plays out for a certain time and then we're done. And there is a winner declared. And the declared winner is, according to reverse speech, God. You know, God will always win. And God acts through all of us if we allow that, you know. And you have to be careful because these people are influencing and trying to pretend to be God. You know, it's just ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, so let me, I'm going to show you that HiveNet video that is very, very important. So let me cue that up right quick. Okay, and this is my, I'm going to put this link in below also. This is my human non-consensual experimentation. Subjects need your help. Google Drive link. And this is number 10 on it. Human brains linked to mixed reality, quantum computer, sentient world simulation. It is approximately 16 minutes. And if anybody needs to understand what's happening here, this is where you take them. They've got science shills all over the planet that either have bought into this ridiculousness or are being coerced to, in some way, to sell it to the public. But they are selling these wares to the public, and it is on a global basis. You have to once you see it, you'll be able to see it everywhere because they've sold it on a massive scale across the planet in media and everywhere. All of this, like Transformers, that's totally transhumanist, cyborgs, robots, all of this stuff. Do humans really need all that crap to be happy and to live a balanced life? Because we need to figure out what Earth specs are. All good engineers have specs for their products, right? When you get outside of the specs, stuff starts happening that's not good. So there are going to be things that are good for humanity, and we've got, the boundaries down here are really wide, guys. Can you live a happy, fulfilled life without, having a robot servant? Because what's happening is it's going to put you in the zoo instead, and we see that that's what they're headed toward. That stuff is evil. It is evil. And I'm not sure that there's a non-parasitic form of it. So we have to find out what the proper tech balance is here and adhere to it. And those people, those psychopaths that just don't care about anybody but themselves and want to harm humanity are going to have to be properly dealt with. Okay? And my suggestion for those people who are that dangerous, who cannot live among humans without torturing and killing and raping and pillaging, I recommend a trial and a death sentence. Now, that's just it. I'm not having any more of this ridiculousness. They need to be tried, and they need to be assessed the death penalty, and I've said that before. Okay, so, and I think that is completely reasonable for what is happening here on this planet. Okay, so period, amen. Let's take a look at this, and then I'm going to turn you loose. Okay, here we go. And we're not going to watch the whole thing.
I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, not a month goes by where I don't get a call at my institute by someone telling me that someone in the government implanted these things in their brain without them knowing. I'm not kidding.
Now that, again, I've told you about Dr. James Giordano. He is a transhumanist. His reverse speech is coming across that he's, one of them, that he looks to be cooperating in this, and I believe it's consciously, and hurting people. Who's the next person? Who's the next victim? His reverse speech is coming across that he's aiding the eye of evil. So, I just don't know what to say about that, except that that's what's coming across, and there are a ton of people in this game like him that are telling you everything they're doing to you while they're exterminating you. They're attacking you while they're pretending to be your friend. Okay? So please recognize that. And they have a ton of defense industry shilling all over the planet doing this. This is a global phenomenon. This is out and out class warfare. So, and it's coming through counterterrorism all the way across the planet. That's almost like a code name for this. So if it's connected to counterterrorism in some way, those are red flags. They're indicators that there's an issue and a problem. Okay, CIA is involved in that. All of our institutions have been infiltrated at this point. The corruption is very bad. Okay, so here we go.
Now you may say, this doesn't concern me, or my children, or my community. But this is less and less true.
The Manhattan Project gave us the atomic bomb. The Genome Project...
Okay, this is one of their shills right here. Y'all probably have seen him. I forget his name. I always forget it, and I apologize. I cannot hold his name in my head for some reason. But you can probably, look him up. So he is selling their wares. He is selling the HiveNet. But unbeknownst to you, once these people announce it to you, they're already doing it somewhere. Okay, on a larger scale. So they're like telling you it's coming way in the future, but no. It's a notification, guys. So let's just get real. They've already got me hooked to this disgusting thing. I do not want hooked to a computer. No biology should be permanently hooked to a computer. Live things do not belong permanently hooked to dead computers. With or without a wireless connection or a wired connection, whether it's a physical wire or whether it's wireless, makes no difference. If there's testing that has to be done, there may be considerations for that, but I'm not sure. We have to figure out some way to be able to properly tell if somebody is hooked to one. Because you can't see this stuff. Your computer is wirelessly hooked, most of you, to a router. Can you see that connection? I mean, we have to be able to come up with ways to measure all this, because it is ridiculous.
Project gave us the human genome. The third great initiative could be the Connectome Project, to map the entire human brain. And that may take a quantum computer. And this means that in the future, communications could be done mentally. What I'm saying is that the internet will be replaced by BrainNet. We will send emotions, feelings, memories on the internet. This may be the way that we communicate with our fellow human beings via the internet, via a new form of the internet called BrainNet.
Where we are at the moment is we are definitely at a place where they can literally plug you into the internet. They've done the experiments on it, it's tolerated very well, and this rats was some of the early experiments on it. And what they did was they connected these rats they were separated by thousands of miles. And what they found was they could connect them to work as one, and they call it a brain net. To the listener, you'll understand that as the hive mind. Now, if people think this is somehow sci-fi or conspiracy theory, they're absolutely wrong. They're way behind this, because this is here now. It's been done. It's been done in experiments, and it's been proven to work. And this is the technology. This is the first phase of technology that's going to come after the kind of the AI goggles, the kind of Google virtual world stuff. After that is coming this stuff, and this is going to come in a lot sooner than you think, and quite frankly, it terrifies me.
Okay. Now, that's what we're talking about. And I believe I'm now finished talking about all this. So, Dr. Graham Downing, he's correct. This is already happening. They are already doing it to you. Okay, and it's going to be connected to COVID and DNA harvesting and tagging humans. This is Animal Farm, guys, you know, and they're trying to distract you and provide you with plenty of entertainment so that you will do nothing in the face of it. So what I'm saying is, please prepare and make good decisions, and reverse speech is one way that you can know what's going on. I like to get my news from reverse speech while considering all this other stuff, because it will align with what is true. And these guys are throwing, this is coming out of the intel agencies. I mean, they like to throw lots of mud and see what sticks. And they're doing that in both directions. So they'll give you the high extreme and the low extreme and some stuff in the middle. None of it true. But reverse speech will align with whichever one is true. You see, and build a bridge with that. So that's why I like to start with our reverse speech. But it's important to kind of know what's all going on too. Otherwise, you won't recognize what it's aligning with. So it's good to keep abreast of what's going on. But anyway, I have got to run. And I'm going to let everybody get on with their day. But I just, guys, I know everybody wants everything in a sound bite, but I've got to cover it until I think it's covered. And so, chop this up into smaller pieces if you need to, but I'm not going to support the sound bite here. We've got to cover it and sit here until it's covered and work through this. It's presenting how it's presenting in order for us to do what we need to do to get back in balance. So, just cut this in smaller pieces if you need to, and y'all have a great day. And I think I'm really done now. It feels done. Okay, love y'all. Have a good day. Bye.